What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Astronaut, and I am so sorry, everyone. I'm a little late on delivering this video. A few days ago, it was released that Ed Boon completely slammed that leak of the roster that was allegedly supposed to be the official roster lineup for Mortal Kombat 11, and Ed Boon took to his Twitter account and just utterly slammed it. Just to kick things off, I'm going to go ahead and read to you what he said, and we will be able to go from there. So someone basically retweets something or other, and then he retweets it with his own response and says, "Ha, bring that tweet up after you see the real roster and let's see what you say then. Booyah!" And of course, within the tweet itself, it actually has a copy of the leaked roster. So guys, if you're watching this video, if you're curious about which roster I'm talking about, if you've been watching the videos where it's been talking about this allegedly official roster, if that roster started off with the names Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Liu Kang, Katana, Jade, Rain, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, Noob Saibot, Smoke, Cyrax, Sindel, Reptile, Goro, Shang Tsung, Kung Lao, Fujin, and so on and so on and so on. If you have been watching videos where that has been the lineup, that is not the official roster, and Ed Boon has completely slammed it. So this entire video is pretty much dedicated to basically making that announcement. I wanted to let my subscribers know, in case people haven't been keeping up with what's going on, that roster is fake. And to be honest with you, I had some hesitations myself when I saw the Kombat pack, because first of all, when do you ever see NetherRealm just reveal their first Kombat pack like right off the bat? I mean, it's one thing to reveal the base roster because that's what's coming up, but it's another thing typically each and every Kombat pack, and this goes for both Injustice and Mortal Kombat. Typically the Kombat packs or the character packs that get revealed are typically something that you pretty much have to wait for. They like to drum up a lot of anticipation for it because they have their own trailers. We basically have to wait for the trailers to be released for us to even have a clue into who these Kombat pack characters are going to be. So I think that was a big suspicion, a big red flag right there when this roster got leaked, and then they wanted to go ahead and tell us up front who the Kombat Pack 1 characters were. And on top of that, they included Mike Myers and Pennywise, and don't get me wrong, yeah, those are cool characters, but at the same time, those are fan favorite characters that for the past 2 years have been circulating online. And so, for the most part, with my experience with NetherRealm, very rarely do they just do exactly what the fans kind of come up with. Typically, NetherRealm kind of takes the cynic route. They typically will come up with characters or come up with an angle that no one thought about, and so a lot of times the guest characters aren't always the most obvious characters. So just to see Pennywise and Mike Myers, the two most obvious picks for Mortal Kombat 11, I think that was a bit of a red flag as well. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and move on to an article I want to read to everyone. This article comes to us from Destructoid.com, and it goes a little more in depth into basically the breakdown of what's been going on and how Ed Boon did go on to just slam this leak. It starts off with saying, of course it could still be on point. We've talked at length about leaks these past few months, a particularly hot button issue whenever there's another Super Smash Bros. On the horizon. Some are fun, putting too much stock in any of them can be harmful, and some are so noteworthy that a creator or developer even feels the need to comment on them. Ed Boon, in true Ed Boon fashion, recently commented on a new strain of Mortal Kombat 11 leaks. So let's back up a bit. Right now, Dark Raiden, Scorpion, a new woman fighter, and Shao Kahn are fully confirmed. The leak also contended that Sub-Zero, Raiden, Liu Kang, Katana, Jade, Rain, Sonya, Johnny Cage, Noob Saibot, Smoke, Cyrax, Sindel, Reptile, Goro, Shang Tsung, Kung Lao, Fujin, Bill Raicho, Frost, Kenshi, Dagon, Kodokan, Aaron Black, Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Takeda, and Kung Jin are in. Now, some of those are absolutely obvious, such as Sub-Zero, and some aren't, such as Dagon. After seeing the list, Boon responded, "Bring that tweet up after you see the real roster and let's see what you say then." One of my favorite pastimes is chronicling developer statements to see how they measure up after the game is actually out. Sometimes they're just outright deflecting and having fun because they can, garnering controversy and delight to sell pre-orders. Of course, they can be genuine as well. While a lot of this list is bound to be in Mortal Kombat 11, Boon might be laughing at the fact that it's not complete or that it doesn't include some of the expected shockers like the rumored Spawn or other guest characters. Let's check back in 4 months and see how it all turns out. Alright guys, so this article just basically, lets us know that Ed Boon just slams it. He could have slammed it for multiple reasons. It could have been slammed because it was an incomplete list. It could have been slammed because it was completely wrong. And for whatever reason or the other. But the one thing that I will say, and one thing I do appreciate on Ed Boon's part, is that for him to just step forward and actually put his foot down and say something, because Ed Boon, he does tend to be a troll, and sometimes he can kind of be, he can kind of like play some mind games with us. He'll, throw some things out there that won't be like 100% one way or 100% the other. We just kind of are left in limbo to try to just figure it out and then jump on the internet and make videos about him. So, but in this case, he actually put his foot down. He said, look, I want to see exactly what you think after we actually show you what the real list is. So, so we don't really have to speculate anything on that tweet at all. There's really no room to figure out, try to like guess or second guess or whatever. It's just cut and paste. That wasn't the list. It's not the real roster. So we can just rest assured and know that, for the most part, we're going to have to sit back and wait for more characters to be revealed. They may not even we might get lucky and get another like official leak, but NetherRealm may not necessarily even want us to know all the characters just right up front. They might end up just doing one by one, which would be really a drag, but that's okay. Anywho, but at least we have this to go on. This is something very important moving forward as we anticipate the game. Now to those of you who like the list, I know this might be a little disappointing because, to be honest, up until the Combat Pack characters, the list of characters actually made a lot of sense, because one, it was keeping with the trend of NetherRealm kind of avoiding to bring back a lot of the 3D characters, the 3D era characters in the reboot and in Mortal Kombat 10. NetherRealm has been dancing around bringing any 3D characters back. So that in and of itself, I felt kind of gave a little more credibility to this leak, because that leak actually can contain characters that were present, that were current, that have been involved in the new storyline since Mortal Kombat 9, and so I felt like that did make it seem like it was more credible. And we still don't know exactly why NetherRealm doesn't want to touch the 3D era characters. But that might change with Mortal Kombat 11. They might actually surprise us with some with some 3D era characters coming back. My personal opinion, I really don't think so. I think that NetherRealm has discovered, has kind of struck it gold with the new storyline, with this new story mode, the rebooted story mode. They've realized that the fans really like the original, the original characters from Mortal Kombat 1 through 4. People really took to the reboot really well. Mortal Kombat 10 did really well. Even on my channel, being a YouTuber, I still see so many fans upset about the fact that the 3D era characters have not made it back. They haven't come back into the current timeline. So I don't really know why NetherRealm has made that move to avoid them. But one thing I will say about that is that the 3D era for Mortal Kombat was not the best selling era. That was not Mortal Kombat at its height. Mortal Kombat at its height was probably from Mortal Kombat 1 all the way through to about Deadly Alliance. And so that was, or actually, the earlier part of the franchise was probably the most successful part. And it seems like during the 3D era part, that was really a time when NetherRealm and Midway Studios were really struggling financially. The fate of the franchise was kind of a little unclear. They really wasn't sure what was going to become of it. So those 3D characters, some of them, I don't necessarily know if they were all that popular with the studio, just simply because that era of the game making was just not the biggest. Anywho, so yeah, like I was saying, so that wasn't the biggest era. That wasn't the most popular era. So that might be why NetherRealm is trying to steer away from those characters. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know. Those characters might come back in Mortal Kombat 11. Who knows? But anyways, but yeah. So guys, so as far as that roster leak goes, I saw some things in it. Like whoever did it really put some thought into it, and they were paying attention to, Mortal Kombat 9 and 10, because they clearly included the new characters from Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, from Mortal Kombat 10, and they included some characters who had played some fairly major roles in Mortal Kombat 9. Also, the leak had no information about the Revenant characters. It was talking about Chronica, which I believe Chronica, was supposed to be the woman in the trailer, but I guess now we know that that's not even her name. Her name isn't even Chronica. This person made it up. But yeah, for some reason, in the leak, it had nothing to do with the Revenants or anything like that. They gave this name to that woman Chronica next to the time glass and all that stuff. So anyways, well, they did a good job. So guys, I wanted to make this video to let you guys know it was fake, and I will keep you updated on the next information.